dig up a past I swore and stay buried.
You will always be a monster.
Ares! I have nothing more to hide.
The ghost of Sparta had been born.
Why does Kratos seem to be getting older? In a video I uploaded a couple of months ago titled Why Does Kratos Age, I realized that I didn't actually explain why he does so, but how old he actually is. So if you want to check that video out, click on the tag in the top right corner or check out the link in the pinned comment below. Ladies and gentlemen, this question is one that is easily answered, and quite frankly, I am surprised that not a lot of people know the answer to this question. But before I tell you why Kratos ages, I need you guys to understand two things. The first thing that you guys need to understand is that the immortality of the Greek gods is much different from the immortality of the Norse gods. And the second thing is that Kratos' immortality is even more different than the gods of both pantheons. Now that I have that out of the way, let's get into it. To understand why Kratos seems to be getting older, we need to divulge the origin of his immortality. But before I do so, let me explain to you the difference between Greek immortality and Norse immortality. The Greek gods, titans, or any other immortal being from that pantheon retained their immortality by consuming two things: ambrosia and nectar, which were considered the foods and drinks of the gods. Those who consumed ambrosia and nectar gave the consumer an ethereal life force, the gift of immortality and blood made out of ichor. But it did not mean you couldn't age. Ambrosia and nectar simply made the aging process slower while simultaneously giving you power and strength that rendered the outcomes of aging useless. The Greek gods were born with ichor already running through their veins, which is why when they were imprisoned in Kronos' belly, they did not die immediately as Kronos might have thought. The Norse gods, on the other hand, had to rely on Eden's magical apples that slowed their aging process and pretty much did the same exact thing that nectar and ambrosia did. These apples are actually the same ones that Kratos consumes in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok to increase his maximum health. Although in the game, Eden's apples don't give Kratos immortality, it could be that the leftover ichor running in Kratos' blood, when mixed with the magical, chemicals in Eden's apples, they could have just simply given him a health boost instead of the immortality that he already possesses. But anyway, now you're probably asking, why aren't the Greek gods' blood gold like ichor in the old God of War games? I touched upon this in another video as well, but I'll go over it again. The only other thing that offers the gift of immortality is the followers and worshippers of the gods. It is actually quite a known fact that a god with no worshippers simply dies. And to answer your question, it could be that the Greek gods simply have reached such a huge following that they no longer needed ambrosia and nectar. The Greek gods from God of War could have simply relied on their worshippers' prayers and sacrifices to retain their immortality. And that is why their blood could have turned back to its original color, red. But all this still doesn't explain why Kratos ages. Is it the lack of ambrosia and nectar? Eden's apples? Is Kratos not a full god? No. Even if Kratos ate nectar and ambrosia, even if Kratos ate all of Eden's apples, he was still going to age just like all the other gods did, because again, nectar, ambrosia, and Eden's apples don't stop aging, but do gift the consumer immortality, and the consequences of aging, if you want to call them consequences, have no effect. The aging is not going to affect Kratos, it is not going to make him slower or weaker or clumsier. But you guys aren't seeing the bigger picture. The nature of Kratos' immortality is so distinct. His immortality is unconditional. Kratos will live forever, unlike the gods he has encountered who were prone to the possibility of dying forever. But now you're probably thinking that I'm talking out of my ass, since we see Thor kill Kratos in the new game.
Did my son die, blind fucking luck? come here, become a daddy, get a clean slate. That ain't how it works. You're a destroyer, like me. Oh no. I say when we're done. I'm not leaving till I see the real you. Get up!
Well, just hear me out. Kratos' immortality in the old games, when he was the Greek god of war, could have come from three things. One, ambrosia and nectar that he drank during his stay in Olympus. Two, his followers and worshippers during his time as the new Greek god of war. Or three, his curse. And I believe the answer is option 3. Why? Because Kratos' immortality is no ordinary immortality. Kratos can die, but he can't stay dead for long. Kratos is cursed to walk the earth forever, but in between that time, Kratos is susceptible to all manner of things like death, injury, maybe even sickness and aging. That's the beauty of his curse. That's the beauty of his immortality. It's not just as simple as Kratos can't die, Kratos will live forever. No, that's too easy. Yes, Kratos will live forever. He will walk the face of the earth as a living, breathing corpse forever. But that doesn't mean that he cannot die in the process, that he cannot be defeated or get injured or even age. That's why we all love Kratos so much. It's not because of just how badass he is, but it's because with him, it's not just black and white. He is a complex character, and so is his nature.
I'd say the moment calls for calm. Yeah,